The Galactic Council's war room fell silent as Commander Vex studied the holographic display. For 3 cycles, the Dominion had conquered system after system, their fleet unstoppable. Now, only one option remained: hiring mercenaries from the quarantined sector. Earth, Admiral Krell spoke the word like poison. The Deathworld in Sector 7. Vex's tentacles twitched nervously. Every species knew about Earth, a planet where the gravity could crush most civilized beings. Where the weather itself was a weapon. Where creatures hunted each other for sport. The Council had quarantined it centuries ago, after first contact ended with their diplomatic team fleeing in terror. "We need soldiers," Krell continued. "Their military forces are primitive but effective. We offer them technology in exchange. For 1 battalion. Simple transaction." The Council agreed reluctantly. What choice did they have? The Dominion's fleet would reach the core worlds in 6 months. They sent the message to Earth's United Nations, offering advanced weapons and medical technology for military assistance. Earth's response came within days. Not from their government, but from a private message on an encrypted channel. "Hey there. Space folks. Name's Jack. Me and my crew intercepted your transmission. 1 battalion? That's cute. How about we bring our own ship and handle this our way? We don't do bureaucracy." The Council was confused. This wasn't the formal military response they expected. Ambassador Tai tried to explain protocol, proper channels, chain of command. Jack's message included a video. 12 humans stood in what looked like a modified cargo bay. They wore no uniforms, just practical gear covered in patches and modifications. Behind them loomed a ship that shouldn't exist, a human vessel with clearly stolen alien technology welded, bolted, and somehow integrated into the hull. "Look," Jack said, grinning at the camera. "You can wait 6 weeks for Earth's governments to debate this in committee, or you can have us there in 3 days. We already borrowed some tech from those Dominion scouts that came sniffing around Earth last month. They won't be needing it anymore." Vex's throat sacs pulsed with alarm. Borrowed? The Dominion sent 3 heavy scouts to Earth. They never reported. Back. "Yeah, about that," Jack continued in the video. "Turns out their shields don't work so well against good old kinetic weapons. Who needs lasers when you can throw a tungsten rod at 30 kilometers per second? Anyway, we're already heading your way. Hope you don't mind." The Council erupted in panic. Unsanctioned humans with a hybrid warship were coming. But before they could respond, proximity alarms screamed. A ship dropped out of hyperspace directly. Above the capital Impossible, as the gravity well should have torn any vessel apart. The ship was a nightmare of engineering. A human cargo hauler skeleton wrapped in Dominion armor plating, bristling with weapons from 6 different species. It shouldn't fly. It definitely shouldn't be able to jump. Yet there it was, broadcasting classic Earth rock music across all frequencies. "Sup, Council." Jack's voice crackled over comms. "Made good time. Where's this Dominion fleet you're so worried about?" Admiral Krell checked the sensors. "They're still 2 sectors away." "How did you—" "We don't follow shipping lanes." Another human voice interrupted. A woman this time. "We call it the scenic route. Through asteroid fields, past black holes, you know. Keeps things interesting. I'm Lisa, by the way. Navigation and explosives." Vex found his voice. "Explosives? Everything's explosive if you—" "Try hard enough," Lisa replied cheerfully. The Council watched in stunned silence as the impossible ship settled into orbit. These weren't the disciplined soldiers they'd requested. These were something else entirely. Humans who treated space travel like a joyride, who welded alien technology together with no regard for safety protocols, who flew through areas marked as certain death on every star chart. So, Jack's face appeared on the main screen, his grin. "Unsettling. Want to tell us about this Dominion problem, Or should we just go hunting? Fair warning, we're pretty bored. And Tom here just finished building something he calls a gravity hammer. We're dying to test it. The council exchanged worried looks. They'd asked for soldiers. Instead, they got something far more dangerous: humans, who treated war like a hobby and the laws of physics like suggestions. Asterisk, 3 days passed since the humans arrived. The council kept them at arm's length, housing them in an isolated station while processing documentation. In reality, every species was terrified of what they'd invited into their space. Commander Vex visited the station daily, trying to understand these creatures. The humans had turned their temporary quarters into what they called home. The pristine white walls were now covered in crude drawings, technical schematics, and something Jack called motivational posters, images of explosions with text like "Another day, another boom." "You have to understand," Vex said carefully, his translator struggling with the concept. "The Dominion follows certain rules of engagement. They announce their presence, demand surrender, and attack methodically." Tom, the engineer, looked up. From welding something to what appeared to be a kitchen appliance. "Rules in war? That's adorable." "It's how civilized species fight," Vex insisted. "Yeah, well," Mike, their weapons specialist, spun a knife between his fingers. "Humans used to have rules, too. Then we realized the other guy only follows them when he's winning." A proximity alarm interrupted the conversation. Vex's communicator screened warnings. A Dominion scout fleet had arrived early, 12 ships strong, demanding the Council's immediate surrender. Finally, Lisa stretched like a predator waking up. "I was getting bored." The humans moved with practiced chaos. No formation, no coordinated response, just 12 individuals heading to their ship with eager grins. Vex followed, horrified and fascinated. The ship's interior was worse than its exterior. Wires hung from ceilings, panels were held shut with what looked like tape. And was that a microwave duct taped to the weapons console? "That's the popcorn maker," Tom explained, noticing Vex's stare. "Watching space battles makes us hungry." The Council's fleet formed defensive positions, 30 ships in perfect formation, shields synchronized, weapons charging in sequence. The Dominion scout fleet approached in their standard arrow formation, broadcasting demands for surrender. "Hey, Jack," Lisa called from navigation. "They're doing that thing again. The talking thing." "Put them on speaker." Jack settled into what might have been a captain's chair if it wasn't held together with zip ties. The Dominion commander appeared on screen, a crystalline being radiating authority. "Unknown vessel, you will stand down or be destroyed. We are the Dominion." "Resistance is—" Jack muted them mid-sentence. "Dave, what do you think? The gravity hammer or the new thing?" Dave, who hadn't spoken until now, grinned slowly. "Why choose?" The human ship lurched forward, accelerating at speeds that should have liquefied its crew. The Dominion fleet, expecting negotiation or gradual escalation, hesitated for exactly 2 seconds. 2 seconds was too long. The gravity hammer turned out to be a repurposed mining device attached to a Dominion gravity generator. Tom fired it. At the lead ship, space itself seemed to hiccup. The Dominion vessel crumpled like paper, then exploded outward as the gravity reversed. "That's new," Tom muttered, making notes. "Need to calibrate the reversal timing." The Dominion fleet scattered, returning fire with precision laser strikes. The beams hit the human ship's chaotic hull and ... disappeared. The microwave on the weapons console dinged. "Popcorn's ready," Mike announced, grabbing the bag while simultaneously launching what appeared to be modified mining drones at 3 enemy ships. The battle, if it could be called that, lasted 8 minutes. The humans didn't fight like any species the Council had encountered. They rammed one ship while boarding another. Lisa manually piloted a torpedo because it looked fun. Dave played music so loud it interfered with enemy communications. When the dust settled, 10 Dominion ships were destroyed, 2 were captured, and the human ship had somehow gained more weapons than it started with. Did they just ... Admiral Krell watched the replay in disbelief. Steal weapons during the battle? Waste not, want not. Jack's voice crackled over comms. These Dominion shields are nice. Think we can fit 6 more on our hull? The captured Dominion commander was brought aboard the Council station. The crystalline being, used to formal prisoner exchanges, was not prepared for Sam, the human medic, to offer him what she called comfort food, a sandwich that somehow contained ingredients from 4 different planets. You're insane, the commander whispered, his universal translator struggling with the concept. All of you. This isn't war. This is madness. Nah. Jack leaned against the cell bars, casual as ever. Madness would be following your rules. This is just Tuesday for us. The Council realized their mistake. They hadn't hired soldiers. They'd unleashed something far more dangerous: humans who treated the galaxy's greatest threat like a playground game. Asterisk. News of the scout fleet's destruction reached the Dominion's high command within hours. For the first time in 300 cycles, Grand Admiral Zeke called an emergency session. Replay it again, Zek ordered, his crystalline form flickering. With disbelief, the hologram showed the human ship that impossible amalgamation of stolen technology, tearing through formations that had conquered 100 worlds. The Dominion's tactical computers couldn't even classify the human's fighting style. It kept returning errors, pattern not found, strategy incompatible with known warfare doctrines. They're using a kitchen appliance as part of their weapons. System, Sub-Commander Vel noted, voice hollow. Our shields fed energy directly into their popcorn maker. Send the 3rd Fleet, Zek commanded. 50 ships. Overwhelm them with numbers. The 3rd Fleet arrived at the Council's border in perfect formation. 50 Dominion warships, each one capable of glassing a planet. They expected to find the human ship hiding behind the Council's defenses. Instead, they found Jack broadcasting on all channels from empty space. Hey there, big guys. Love the formation. Very pretty. Very predictable. Want to see a magic trick? The Dominion Admiral started to respond when proximity alarms screamed. The human ship materialized inside their formation, not dropped from. Hyperspace, not decloaked, just suddenly there. How? The Admiral gasped dot on the human ship. Tom patted his latest creation lovingly. Borrowed this from those Council folks' emergency teleporter. Mixed it with a Dominion phase shifter and some Earth tech. I call it the nope drive. When things get dicey, we just nope out of existence for a bit. The 3rd Fleet opened fire simultaneously. 50 ships worth of coordinated devastation. The human ship vanished again, reappearing behind them. Then above. Then inside the flagship's shield bubble. Physics doesn't work that way. Vel screamed. Physics is more like guidelines. Lisa's voice echoed across the comms as she manually steered a stolen Dominion fighter directly into their fuel depot. She ejected at the last second, grabbed onto their hull, and planted something that looked suspiciously like duct tape and chewing gum. The explosion took out 3 ships. Meanwhile, Mike and Dave had boarded a Dominion cruiser through a waste disposal port. The crew found them in the cafeteria, eating alien food and rating it on taste. This purple stuff's not bad, Dave commented, stunning a guard with a modified kitchen tray. Bit salty, though. The battle turned into something the Dominion had. No Protocol 4. The humans weren't trying to win strategically. They were having fun. Jack was keeping score. Lisa was attempting to thread their ship through increasingly narrow gaps. Tom was testing whether Dominion shields could be converted into a giant disco ball. They could. 20 Dominion ships found themselves reflecting weaponized light beams in random directions, hitting their own fleet more than the enemy. The tactical. Computers gave up entirely, displaying only ERR humans. But the moment that broke the Dominion spirit came when Sam the medic hijacked their fleet-wide communication. "Hi, everyone. Quick PSA, your species is lactose intolerant. Found out when your captured guys tried our ice cream. Anyway, we're beaming dairy products into your ventilation systems. Surrender now or face the consequences. Your choice." The Third Fleet's crews, trained for honor and death in battle, were not prepared for biological warfare via milk products. Half the fleet experienced what humans called digestive distress within minutes. "They're monsters," Admiral Zek watched, his grand fleet retreating in disarray. 30 ships destroyed or captured, 20 fleeing while their crews dealt with humanity's most innocent biological weapon. The Council watched in stunned silence as the human ship pursued the fleeing vessels, not to destroy them, but to spray paint. Humans were here, on their hulls. "This is psychological warfare," Ambassador Tai whispered. "Nah," Jack replied over comms. "Psychological warfare implies planning. We're just seeing what sticks. Speaking of which, Tom wants to know if we can borrow your matter converter. He's got an idea involving Dominion armor and Earth rubber bands." Grand Admiral Zik made a decision that would echo through Dominion history. He opened a direct channel to Earth's United Nations. "Please," he begged, "call off your psychopaths. We'll negotiate. We'll retreat. Just get them away from us." Earth's president, who'd been watching the footage, responded carefully. "Those aren't our soldiers. We have no authority over them." "Then who controls them?" A long pause. "Nobody. That's the problem. That's always been the problem with humans. The ones who follow rules aren't the ones you should fear." The Dominion Empire, conquerors of 100 worlds, began their first retreat in 3 centuries. Not from an army, but from 12 bored humans with a ship held together by hope and duct tape. Asterisk word traveled faster than light across the galaxy. The Dominion Empire, the scourge of civilized space, was retreating, not conducting a strategic withdrawal or regrouping, actually running away. Every species wanted to know why. The answer terrified them more than the Dominion ever had. "Humans" became a whispered word in 1,000 languages. The Council called an emergency session. Representatives from 40 species gathered, all eyeing the human ship now permanently parked in orbit, like a predator lounging in their garden. "We need to establish protocols," Chairman Ricks declared, his feathers ruffled with anxiety. "The humans must follow galactic law." "Sure thing." Jack appeared on the main screen, eating something that looked disturbingly like one of the Council. "Members species. Oh, it's a sandwich. Tom made it from plants. Totally vegetarian. It just looks like Ambassador Trill." Ambassador Trill fainted. "You've caused a diplomatic crisis," Vex explained. "The Dominion sent a formal complaint. They're accusing you of war crimes." The humans burst out laughing. The sound echoed through the council chambers, making several species involuntarily step back. War crimes? Lisa wiped tears from her eyes. They invaded peaceful worlds, and we're the criminals? Because we used dairy products? And the gravity. Hammer, Krell added weakly. And the disco ball shields, another council member whispered. And the thing with the waste ports, someone else muttered. "Look." Jack leaned back in his chair, which creaked ominously. "You hired us to handle the Dominion. They're handled. What's the problem?" Before anyone could answer, alarms rang out. Not battle alarms, diplomatic ones. 3 new species were requesting immediate council membership, citing protection from the human threat as their reason. "We're not a threat." Mike protested. "We helped." "You turned warfare into a sport," Ambassador Tai said carefully. The Corvan Empire watched you racing through their asteroid field to see who could reach the battle first. They've closed their borders. That was Lisa's idea, Dave pointed out. You bet on it. Lisa shot back. The council's discussion was interrupted by an unexpected visitor. A Dominion peace envoy, something that hadn't existed until 3 days. O requested permission to approach. The envoy, a younger crystalline being named Voss, entered the chamber with visible terror. But he walked past the council members and straight to the human viewing screen. I'm here to negotiate, he announced. Cool, Jack nodded. What do you got? Voss pulled up a star map. We'll cede all territory taken in the last 50 cycles. Full reparations to conquered worlds. Complete military withdrawal from this sector. The council gasped. It was more than they dreamed possible. And in return? Jack asked, though his grin suggested he knew. You stay away from Dominion space. Forever. We'll establish a 1,000 light-year buffer zone. Any human ship that crosses it... Voss shuddered. We'll surrender immediately. Deal, Jack said instantly. But we keep the stuff we already took from your ships. Please do. We don't want it back after what Tom did to it. Tom waved cheerfully. Behind him, a Dominion power core was being used to run what appeared to be a coffee machine. The treaty was signed within hours. The fastest peace negotiation in galactic history. The Dominion retreated so quickly, they left equipment behind. Too frightened to retrieve it. But the real change came from the rest of the galaxy. Pirates stopped raiding, shipping lanes near Earth's sector. The hostile species registry quietly removed 12 aggressive races who suddenly decided they were pacifist now. A black market emerged for human memorabilia. A bolt from their ship sold for the price of a small moon. Someone claimed to have. One of Mike's knives and 3 systems immediately declared neutrality. We've become the galaxy's boogeyman, Sam observed, watching the news feeds. They're more scared of us than the actual threats. Good, Jack replied. Means we can relax. But relaxation for humans meant something different. Tom started a cooking show using alien technology. Lisa began racing through black holes. 4. Fun. Mike opened a completely legal weapons modification shop. The council watched in horror as their space station became a tourist destination for humans from Earth. Apparently, word had gotten back that there were cool aliens to meet. What have we done? Vex asked Krell as they watched a human child chase a diplomat with what she called a friendship stick. We saved the galaxy, Krell replied. We just didn't expect the cure to be worse than the disease. The human reputation was sealed. Not as heroes or villains, but as something far more terrifying, a species that treated the impossible as entertainment, and the laws of physics as mild suggestions. Asterisk. 6 months after the Dominion retreat, the galaxy had reorganized itself around a simple principle. Don't upset the humans. The Council established Earth as a special administrative region, which essentially meant we legally recognize we can't control you. Please don't hurt us. Trade flourished, but every merchant vessel triple-checked their cargo. No dairy products became standard shipping protocol after the lactose incident. Jack and his crew had become legends, but not the kind anyone wanted to meet. Parents across 40 systems used them as bedtime warnings. Behave, or the humans will come. We should be offended, Sam said, reading the latest diplomatic briefing. Why? Tom asked, elbow deep in what used to be a Dominion quantum computer. It's efficient. No one bothers us. We don't have to bother them. Their ship had evolved further. Other human vessels had started arriving, each one a unique nightmare of improvised engineering. The duct tape fleet, as aliens called it, didn't have matching uniforms, standardized weapons, or even consistent physics. But they'd created the most effective peacekeeping force in galactic history. Nobody wanted to test them. The change became obvious when the Silicate Syndicate, the galaxy's most powerful crime organization, sent a formal apology to Earth for any past misunderstandings, along with tribute of rare minerals. "We didn't even know they existed," Lisa pointed out. "They know we exist," Jack replied. "That's enough." But the real test came when a new threat emerged from beyond known space. The Void Hunters, an ancient race that consumed entire systems for resources. They'd destroyed civilizations before the Council existed. Their scout ship arrived broadcasting a simple message: surrender or be consumed. Every species panicked. The Council called emergency sessions. Fleets mobilized and immediately stood down, knowing they had no chance. Then someone made a suggestion that would have been unthinkable a year ago. Call the humans. Jack received the message while teaching alien children how to make paper airplanes. The kids, from 12 different species, had started visiting after learning humans weren't actually going to eat them. "Void Hunters?" He read the alert. "Sounds ominous." "Sounds fun," Mike corrected. Already heading to the ship, the Void Hunter Scout was the size of a small moon. Technology so advanced the Council's computers couldn't analyze it. It consumed a dead planet just to demonstrate its power. The human fleet, now 15 ships of impossible design, arrived without fanfare. "So," Jack broadcast to the Void Hunter, "you eat planets?" "We consume all." The response came in perfect, terrifying harmony. "You cannot stop us. Wasn't planning to," Jack replied. "Tom, show them the thing." Tom activated his latest creation. Nobody knew what to call it. It was part Dominion tech, part Council science, part Earth ingenuity, and somehow incorporated a microwave, 3 rubber bands, and what looked like a disco ball. Reality hiccuped. The Void Hunter scout ship turned inside out, then right side in, then into a color that didn't exist, then back to normal, but now covered in Earth advertising stickers. "What did you do?" The Void Hunters screeched. "Honestly, not sure," Tom admitted, "but I can do it again." "Want to see?" The massive ship retreated faster than physics should allow. But before leaving, they transmitted one message to the Council. The humans are exempt from consumption. This sector is quarantined. They never came back. The Council tried to celebrate, but the humans were already leaving. "Where are you going?" Vex asked. "Exploring," Jack shrugged. "This galaxy's getting boring. Everyone's too scared to cause trouble. We heard about something called the Chaos Nebula. Apparently, ships that go in don't come out. That's suicide." "That's Tuesday," the crew replied in unison as the human fleet departed for new impossibilities. The galaxy breathed a collective sigh of relief and terror. They were safe, but at what cost? They'd invited chaos incarnate into their ordered universe. And now that chaos was spreading, Earth's official government finally sent a formal message. To the Council, we apologize for any inconvenience our citizens may have caused. Please note that humans acting outside Earth's authority do so at their own discretion. We take no responsibility for any laws of physics broken, empires toppled, or existential crisis caused. Have a nice day. The Council framed the message as a warning to future generations. Meanwhile, in the Chaos Nebula, something ancient and terrible stirred. It had devoured countless civilizations, existed since the universe's birth, and feared nothing. It was about to meet humans who brought popcorn to watch reality break. The galaxy had learned an important lesson. There were things worse than conquest or destruction. There were humans who thought the fundamental laws of reality were more like suggestions anyway. And somewhere in the void, Jack's crew was already planning to teach the Chaos Nebula how to play poker. End of story *.